Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
Look at him. Look at him. The drip.
Oh my God, he's so handsome.
Okay. Welcome to the Perfect Movie Podcast, the podcast where we answer the question, is this a perfect movie? I'm Michael.
I'm Kalen.
And today, we're not answering that question at all. Today, we're doing the third part of our end of year series where we're going to trash the worst movies we've seen this year.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to say they suck and we hate all the people involved.
Oh, yeah.
So we already did our best movies of the year last week.
Yes.
I'd say overall, a movie with lots of good ones. But let me tell you, there's a lot of them, especially the blockbusters, that stank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anywhere in particular you want to start, Kalen?
Well, I want to go back to Beau is Afraid, I think. Because we mentioned this in, I think it was our first episode of the series. And you put this in an honorable mentions list.
Yeah.
And I'm on the complete opposite spectrum. I think this movie is kind of awful. I think it does some very interesting stuff, especially in the first half or the first act. Ari Aster does some really cool camera stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows how to shoot a really good-looking film. I'll give him that. But I think that there's a lot of pretentious crap in this. There's a lot of stuff that just like, what are we trying to do? What are you trying to say? So I really came out of this film kind of like, huh? What's the point of this? And why do we need a giant penis monster? And what? I don't know. I just didn't know what the fuck. And I didn't think it was that impressive. But, I mean, the first act was very well made. And, yeah, I just had a lot of issues with it. I haven't seen this in a while, so I can't really, like, nitpick every single thing. But, yeah.
I gotta say, I can't blame anyone for like this is a movie you can recommend to no one.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
sure.
It's so crazy and ridiculous and just off-putting and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah. I guess, I think the only reason maybe I liked it, I think if I'd watched it not knowing about the giant penis monster, again, I would have been, like, waiting for the answer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But since I already knew the answer, I was like, this shit is ridiculous.
Yes. Push forward. Pray that you learn valor and be given luck. You will walk many miles. Dozens will become hundreds. Hundreds will become thousands. You will pass through countless villages. But finally, one village will speak to you. Some deep, essential part of you will recognize it, and you will say, "This village is mine."
But yeah, I mean, I can't blame anyone for saying I don't like it. It's fucking not a movie made for a lot of people to like, which is ironic. Like, A24 should not have gave Ari Aster like $80 million, whatever they did to make this movie, because they were never going to make that back.
I think Joaquin Phoenix was great in
Yeah.
this. If we're going to talk about standout roles, Joaquin Phoenix, one of the best in the game. Yeah, he did really well in this. And I thought the character of Beau was interesting, because it's kind of this guy who's dealing with social, like hyper social anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's conveyed very well in the filming aspect, where everything just feels very anxious to begin with, and you're in this hyper realized world with like everybody is like a maniac. And so there's like some great scenes in the beginning where he's like sprinting across the street to get to the bodega, or like he's walking down the street and a guy is like about to jump off a building, and then everybody's filming him, and they're going, "Oh my god, this guy's gonna fucking do it! He's gonna jump!" And then the guy finally jumps, and there's a big reaction. It's like stuff like that, and it's like obviously it's a social commentary on like what real people are like and how we film everything and how we're so awful to each other and different things like that. So I thought from the lens of like, okay, this is going to be a movie about a guy who's dealing with a lot of mental issues, and we're seeing everything through his eyes. But then I would like, as it kept going, I was like, that's not really what this is at all. Mm-mm. It's something, I don't even really know what this is trying to do. And so it completely lost me at the end. I think it was like something to do with like Munchausen syndrome, kinda, with like the mother, like it turned him into this kind of person.
Yeah,
I guess it made him hate his father and all, that kind of shit. So
yeah, there's a lot of mom stuff. She's very overbearing. One of the things that stands out to me at the beginning of the movie is the guy that's like tattooed head to toe, even on his like the whites of his eyes, that just can't consume food at the right temperature. Like the first time you see him, he's getting like soup from the back of a soup pan.
Like, fuck, it's hot!
And he like throws it on the ground and then goes to murder Bo. And then when everyone ends up in Bo's apartment and he's watching from the outside, there's like this massive party and you just see that guy like come around very determinedly to the microwave, and he pulls food out of it and he goes, "Fuck! It's too hot!" So there's lots of little details of that I really liked, but yeah, overall it's a weird piece of work.
I think the scene that creeped me out the most was when he was trying to sleep and that person kept slamming his door, and I thought that was really like, that's kind of creepy, and then like he slides and it goes all the way into the room, and like it was weird. I don't know. I think Ari Aster is good with horror stuff. I think he needs to stick with that, maybe.
Stick in your lane, bud.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you one that I think only I will be able to rant about, and it is The Outwaters.
Yes.
So this is found footage. I briefly talked about it on one of our episodes. It's a found footage horror movie. And why I hate it so much is because there's a really good nugget in there, absolutely ruined by a couple choices. So it's a found footage horror movie. It's a bunch of just the most just obnoxious, not whites, just pretentious artsy types go to the desert to film. I think it was like a music video. I think it's two couples. And I think one of the women is the musician, and the other girl's there doing like the beauty, and the two boys are shooting. I think they're brothers, the two guys. And it just goes for way too fucking long with the found footage. Just like there's a lot of just like B-roll of people dancing, and it's supposed to, and like hanging out, and it's supposed to be adorable, but I'm like, let's get on with it.
Right.
Whatever's gonna happen. And the only like horror is they keep hearing these big explosions in the middle of the night that they can't explain. Anyways, all of a sudden one day, like our main character wakes up and like there's a man, like just a figure out there. I think he has an axe and it chases him. And I saw this a while back, so I'm forgetting exactly how it devolves, but it eventually devolves where he's like, this guy is clearly like in a time loop, like other dimension, like there's something happening in this desert where like he keeps kind of like looping through with like a very dreamlike quality through like memories, and also like just through the environment where he'll like go one direction and end up back where he started. Like, and he keeps like coming back across his campsite, and it's like everybody's like catatonic and like stuck in a loop. Like one woman's just like covered in blood and crying, and like things are just slowly like disintegrating like the reality. And a lot of what's in there is creepy. But the problem is, this is the least found footage. Like, there's the least footage of found footage you've ever seen, because once the horror stuff happens, it's all at night. Light never happens again. It seems like it's going on endlessly, but like the sun never comes up again. And it's all shot. The only thing you can see is what's lit by the beam of a flashlight, which is set on like its most tight setting, which there's even a scene where he's on the wide beam and then he like zooms it in when he doesn't want to like scare something that he thinks like startle whatever figures in the distance. And I'm like, so we're just not going to see anything in this fucking movie for the rest of the film. All you can see is whatever's lit by this flashlight.
That sounds awful.
And it sucks so much because I think the horror stuff in there, if I could fucking see it, is like smart and well done and really like disorienting and creepy in a way that's not easy to find.
Would you say this is trying to do like the Blair Witch thing? Is this like a tribute or like an homage to the Blair Witch?
It is like way higher, like the logical leap you have to make. It is Blair Witchy in the fact where like we end up back in the same place and it's kind of warping, but it's more intense and gory and specific. Like there's a moment where a lot of it's through this desert, but all of a sudden you can't explain the logic of it. All of a sudden he's like in his home that's pitch dark and he's like talking to his mother, and there's just like it's way more, it's like reaching farther as far as like the concepts than Blair Witch ever does. But it's all ruined by this decision of how much of the like night scenes are that we're going to show.
Right.
Like I understand hiding some of it, but when you just can't tell what the fuck is going on. Like there's some point where he like teleports or wakes up and he's in a room with some like massive beast that's like slimy and gross, but I couldn't tell you if it had claws, if it had teeth, if it had tentacles, because you never see enough of it to like get around your head around like what is he trapped in this room with?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, what is
it supposed to like your mind is leave it up for your
maybe a
imagination,
little bit,
or-
but I needed a little more. Just a little more. I like the concepts, but I literally need to see more than like 8 inches of my screen at any fucking time.
That's like horror 101. Never show too much, but never show too little
Yeah.
of your monster.
Robbie! What is happening? Don't leave me! Don't leave me! Don't leave me! No, you can't leave me! Don't leave me!
I want to talk about the movie called 65, starring Adam Driver. The movie sucked. It's a sci-fi movie where Adam Driver. I've watched this a while back, so I'm like blanking on a lot of it. That's telling. This movie was boring as shit. But he is a spacefarer, like a Voyager. He's doing it. It's like kind of like Aliens, where he's like
Space.
he's got to go do cargo or something, and then something happens where he goes into like a warp drive or whatever, and he gets sent back in time or sent to a planet. It's like 65 million years or 65 billion, whatever, in the past. And there's dinosaurs on this planet, and he's got this little girl that he's got to protect. And the dinosaurs look like the dinosaurs from Peter Jackson's King Kong. It's awful CGI. Mm-hmm. It's boring. Not a lot going on. Adam Driver does have a interracial relationship, though. And
Ding.
Shouts out to Adam Driver for shipping that shit, man. This ain't Marriage Story. This is Dinosaur Story with interracial couples.
That's right.
You know? So, yeah, don't watch 65 unless you want to. It's not Jurassic Park.
I think that's also a Netflix original.
I think so. And, yeah. I would have thought maybe that's a cool concept. You know, it's an interesting concept, but botched in execution. So.
Okay, here's my next one. Transformers: The Rise of the Beasts.
I should have put this. I forgot I watched that. Yeah.
I mean, it's just as stupid as every Transformers movie, but vacuum out any like personality for the characters.
But they tried really hard, though.
Well, he listens to 90s rap, which don't we like 90s rap?
Yeah, 90s rap.
That was one thing that annoyed me about TMNT. I'm like, these kids don't listen to any of this rap
No,
music.
they're listening to Didi Osama, fucking Lil Mabu or something. New York drill.
The Rise of the Beast. But the thing that really gets me is, do you remember how that movie ends?
No.
Okay, so our main character is hanging out with the Autobot played by Skeet Davidson. And Skeet Davidson, so the bad guy, whatever his name is, he's gonna kill our main guy. So Skeet Davidson's like, no, I shall protect you. So he like, holds his body over him like a tent and like sacrifices himself to save him. And then like his chest opens up and he gives the guy a little like Iron Man suits so he can fight the Transformer out of his own body. But in the time of all this happening, our supervillain seems to forget that the man he was just trying to murder is still under there. because he like never tries to like move the Autobot aside to get to the man or like crush the Autobot so that the man is definitely dead. He's just like a baby that doesn't have like object permanence, and he just like once it's gone, he forgets that this boy exists.
Yeah.
That was just there 10 seconds ago. And I'm like, how fucking stupid does this villain have to be for us to like have the end of this movie?
Well, my thing with these every Transformer movie, it's always we got to get this glowing thing.
Yeah.
With the Rubik's Cube or whatever the fuck it's called.
The Allspark.
The Allspark Cube. Or whatever the fuck, man. It's like, why? Why do we keep doing the same fucking thing? And it's funny because this is supposed to be in the same universe as that Bumblebee movie, which was pretty good for a Transformers movie, which is strange. It had John Cena in it and stuff. And there's a lot of shit going on. And it was like the Goonies, but with Transformers. And this movie was like, we want to bring the Shia LaBeouf kind of character back. Mm-hmm. But this time we're going to have a streetwise Hispanic man, and he talks like this, and it was trash. The whole thing was garbage.
Yeah,
and it made me angry.
Not very good. Didn't like it. That's why it's on this list.
Yep. I don't know why I watched this. The Little Mermaid. It was terrible.
You mean the white replacement mermaid?
No, I mean the new progressive one with Halle Bailey.
Halle Bailey.
She can sing.
She does?
She sings real nice. And it's just a shot-for-shot remake of the original animated classic, which is like why Disney is doing this. It makes no fucking sense. It'd be different. It would be fine if they did something different.
Well, Black Woman.
Okay.
That's different.
I guess. But they did shit with the Lion King, the Aladdin movie. They had Will Smith as the genie. Terrible fucking choice. Who knows why they're making? I mean, we know why they're making these. They just want more money. They want your money, guys, and they want your little children to feel the magic of these classic Disney films again, because they don't like to watch cartoons. They like to watch YouTubers and stuff. And this movie sucked.
Yeah, one of the many Disney cynical cash grabs that feel like they were written by AI and made by machines.
You know, Javier Bardem is in this.
Yeah.
He plays King Triton.
Yeah.
And it's really bad. It's really bad. Yeah.
Does he tell the Little Mermaid, I'm giving you a choice?
How much have you ever lost in a coin toss? She's like, what, Dad? You call it.
Here's one that we can both rag on. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Ugh. We have a full review of this up.
We're shitting all over it.
Dude, I've not seen an uglier, less engaging, more boring movie like ever.
Yeah.
Like, compare this to The Flash. I'll watch The Flash a million times.
Yeah.
Like, and people ragged on The Flash a lot, and The Flash has a lot of bad effects, but at least, like, has a couple entertaining moments. Like, there's almost no entertainment value to come out of this movie.
Yeah.
For $200 million, they made this? How?
It was...
There's got to be some money laundering happening under the hood for a movie to be this ugly.
Actually, though. It's really bad. Even by a lot of, like, the B-movie Marvel standards. Like, it's bad.
It's just like... How did this happen? And you know, actually, in the background, because there's lots of rewrites, and they, like, redid the whole final scene, and it's like, you made an Ant-Man movie where at the end he just punches a guy at normal size? What? It's an Ant-Man movie. Have him do Ant-Man things.
Jonathan Majors never coming back.
Yeah.
They're scrapping that whole thing.
Hopefully that's the last person he hits.
Two conflicting sides of the Jonathan Majors abuse allegations. Welcome to Access Hollywood. I'm Mario Lopez, and the Creed 3 star was arrested in March on domestic violence charges. And as more victims have reportedly come forward, his team doubles down on claims his accuser is lying.
But I want to talk about this movie called Plane with Gerard Butler and Mike Colton. And this movie, it's funny because the reviews are mostly positive, and they're saying, "Oh, this is a decent action flick." And I thought the movie was terrible. I thought that it was like, so the plot is that this plane goes down in this not uncharted territory, but it goes down on this island that's filled with like cartels and shit. And so the cartels like kidnap.
Did they crash on the Just Cause 2 island?
Pretty much, yeah. Whatever the fuck, not Puerto Rico, but they crash land and all the passengers get kidnapped, and there's this one passenger on this flight who is a criminal. And of course, it's a black man, the only black man on this plane.
I mean, it makes sense to me.
Which is played by Mike Coulter. He has to help Gerard Butler, who is the pilot of this plane, get all these people back. And the authorities are taking forever to get there, and they're sending in this Black Ops crew. It's a load of crap, and it's not fun. And, yeah.
Would you say it's the worst plane disaster since,
Don't do it.
Since Sully beached that plane in in the New York Harbor?
You mean since the plane crashed in the movie?
Since the last time Harrison Ford flew a plane?
Yes. Get off my plane. He just starts throwing passengers out.
He's like, I'm Indiana Jones. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Wait.
I got this pilot license. Let me fly the plane.
We're making him sound drunk, but we need to make him sound stoned.
You're stoned more than me. So.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Okay.
I was gonna say it's the worst plane crash since the plane crash and Leave the World Behind.
Oh no! The one that just targets Mahershala Ali like a fucking like homing missile.
Heat-seeking missile. Movie. Okay, so Leave the World Behind. It's a Netflix original.
It would have been like, okay, at the end of Knock at the Cabin, Cabin, a bunch of planes fall from the sky, and that's like one of the first signs of the apocalypse. Might be like true because they're just like crashing.
Yeah.
It'd be like if one of those just went straight at the cabin.
Yeah, like it's like flying along and it goes. It's like I know where the protagonists are staying. It's like Godzilla in that aspect. Leave the World Behind is a Netflix original. It stars a pretty star-studded cast. Ethan Hawke as Clay Sanford, who is the husband character.
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts as Amanda Sanford, Julia Roberts. Mahershala Ali as G.H. Scott, who is the owner of this Airbnb. And Mahala Harold, who is a terrible actress and plays the daughter of Mahershala. And then there's a bunch of other terrible teenager actors. Mm-hmm. They're all bad. Everybody's bad. I watched this movie twice, which was not on my own accord. First time I wanted to watch it because I heard some stuff about it on Facebook. Sounded interesting. Wanted to check it out. I didn't hate it as much until the second time I watched it because my fiance was watching it at her parents' house during a holiday event. And I watched it and I was like, this movie is terrible. And I see this as a Jordan Peele knockoff. We're starting to see more of those as Jordan Peele gets more popular. People are trying to take that formula of smash cut to a shot of a urban apartment with 90s hip hop in the background or R&B. A lot of those kind of tropes. It's all terrible, uninspired.
Well, the thing that
crap.
Jordan Peele movies all have a commentary. They all have a point. They all have something to say. This movie don't have nothing to say except we live in a society.
We live in a society, and it's turning us into monsters.
Like, I thought I might like this movie when, like, 6 minutes in, Julia Roberts looks at the camera and says, I fucking hate people. I was like, I can get down with that. And then it goes nowhere interesting from there.
Right.
Like, it's like just a blue balls movie. It doesn't give you enough answers. doesn't like it's not a satisfying ending.
No,
It's all leading up to watching Friends.
I thought that ending was
I thought it was
not
kind of
clever,
cute.
but it was. I think I don't know. It kind of came together full circle with that whole arc of this girl. Really
I mean,
wanting to watch Friends.
this girl did get to watch Friends, but I'm like, the apocalypse, no answers as to what the apocalypse is, which is fine in a movie that has more interesting characters or like something else going on. But the characters are all kind of one note and kind of just like meandery and like
They don't really,
like
like-
the daughter character is standoffish the whole time. Like nothing gets tied in a bow at the end.
She
Ever.
immediately thinks that Ethan Hawke's character is trying to fuck her,
Yeah.
but she was like flirting with him,
Yeah.
and I was like, "You're not a likable person."
She's very unlikable. From the start, she hates everyone and continues just down the path of like, I mean, it's kind of okay if you're saying she's a teenager, but also like, it's just like,
And
relax.
Julia Roberts' character was insufferable as well, and I think they were trying to make her like that. She's supposed to be like the Karen archetype or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's really anal about stuff, but she was just obnoxious every time she opened her mouth. And the scene that really made me roll my eyes was when the kid. So, what's going on in the film is that there's some type of like societal collapse where there's like an attack on U.S. soil. It's like either a cyber attack or something's going on.
There's lots of hearsay. We never really get the firm answer.
Right, but there's like some kind of audible ultrasonic weapon that's being used where it's like creates this loud sound. I think that only people can hear. This has happened in real life, apparently.
Oh, well. Do you know the real story
allegedly.
of that? I can tell you more about the real story of that.
Okay. But yeah, whatever happens with that thing, the kid doesn't plug his ears at the right time, and he gets like radiation poisoning, and his teeth start falling out, which was gross. And then he needs throwing up, and he needs medicine. Whatever medicine can cure that shit, I don't know. But they take him to this guy's house that's like a prepper, a doomsday prepper. And this guy is like staying on his porch with a shotgun. He's like, I can't let you have my medicine. It's just like, it's all so forced, and it happens so quickly.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, now we're starting to be like, I got to do anything for this medicine. You know, we have to do anything. We're going to have to kill this guy if we have to. Like, it's like, why? Like, you're resorting to this so quickly, and it's not built up that way. You know, just yesterday you guys were having wine and, you know, being like, oh, this situation is going to blow over or whatever. Now you're willing to kill your neighbor to get some medicine. It just didn't really add up to me. And then it's like, it just made me roll my eyes because it reminded me of Halloween Kills, where everybody's like, oh, it's turning us into monsters, and this is what happens when we live in a society of greed and whatever. It's crazy.
The first stage was isolation. Disable their communication and transportation. Make the target as deaf, dumb, and paralyzed as possible, setting them up for the second stage. Synchronized chaos. Terrorize them with covert attacks and misinformation. Overwhelming their defense capabilities, leaving their weapon systems vulnerable to extremists in their own military. Without a clear enemy or motive, people would start turning on each other. Done successfully, the third stage would happen on its own.
What's the third stage?
A coup d'etat. Civil war.
Step 1, sow chaos. Step 2, whatever. Step 3, civil war.
Ugh.
It's like, all right, man.
I did think it was kind of clever how like there was a drone that was like dropping off flyers, and it was in like some kind of Arabic language, and it said "Death to America" or something. And then come to find out later on that they're dropping the same type of flyers in a different state, but the flyers are like in Korean. And so I thought that was kind of interesting because it was like whoever's behind this is like just trying to cause mass chaos and confusion. I thought that was interesting. Wasn't fleshed out. So
But the mass chaos, and you know what scene was really funny in this movie? Is the mass chaos and confusion is the Tesla scene.
oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
they leave the house. The white family,
Mm-hmm.
Julia Roberts' family's left the house, and they're all like, they're just like, we're gonna drive and get the hell out of here. Figure out somewhere else to stay. And they come upon like this just massive pile up on the road that completely blocks the road that is all Teslas. And they get out and to stare at it, I guess, because that's what you need to do. and another car comes down the road, and fucking not Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon was the racist. Ethan Hawke is like, oh, let's talk to those guys. And Julia Roberts is like she puts it together finally when everybody else watching this movie, I guarantee you, has put it together already. That, oh, all these Teslas are crashing because their autopilot's going haywire or whatever. And he's like, no, don't we got to talk to these guys? And she's like, get in the car. And he's like, well, we got to talk to him. And I'm like, you guys are so stupid. Please die now.
Well, the dumbest thing was when they were trying to like swerve through the cars and there was an open lane on the other side where they could have just went on the side of it. It was fucking ridiculous. It was stupid. And you know what I gather from that? Electric cars are bad.
Yeah, it was just the most we live in a society ass commentary. Like, don't Teslas exist? Don't people love their entertainment?
Oh, and then all the stuff about the deer. For whatever reason, the deer are like real creepy and like trying to murder people.
Well, the deer just came around. They were feeling tough all of a sudden. Something about the Sonic stuff was.
They're like, oh yeah, it's our time now.
Yeah, deer time, motherfuckers.
What if the deer were behind this? The
Open season on your ass. That's what the twist this movie needed. I needed an answer, and it's just a deer behind like a control panel.
It's like
drop bomb.
I don't know if you ever watch Adventure Time, but there's a whole Adventure Time episode about an evil deer. And at the end, the deer's behind the disappearance of all these people in this town. And so the deer stands up at the end, takes off his hooves and his like little fingers, and he's like wiggling them. I was like, that's what they should have did.
That would have been much better than this movie, which gives you no answers and very little entertainment along the way.
Talked enough about this piece of crap. Let's move on to the next piece of crap.
Okay, this one you haven't seen, so I just want to rant at you for it real quick. It's called When Evil Lurks. I'm going to pull it up just because I don't want to name the wrong country. It is a foreign, it's a film in Spanish. And it has crazy, like, good reviews. It has an 80 or like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Like, it has almost universal praise.
Really?
So, basically, it's the story of, it's like a curse story. They're in this town, and suddenly it appears that a demon is going to be birthed in this town. There's going to be there's this guy and he's all like bloated and disgusting. It reminds me of, the vampire in Blade that's like fat as shit. He looks like that. He's all distended and gross and bulbous, and they're like, this person has a demon in them. We need to do whatever ritual we need to do to like eliminate the demon. This is an Argentinian movie. And they fumble that, and now like the demon is free to be in town, and so chaos. It's a really mean movie. It like the kids ain't safe, the dogs ain't safe, nobody's safe. Halfway through this movie, a husband runs over his own wife while she's holding her child's hands, saying, "Okay, baby, this will be great." So it's really mean, and like the problem is, so our main character has one son that is clearly autistic. He gets carried along as they kind of like make a road trip to try to get out of town because all this stuff is going crazy. And they find this woman who said she's dealt with this kind of situation once before. And so she's like the expert, and we're getting the like, here's what's happening. And she says, your boy, he's got a demon inside him. And he's like, no, that's just how he is. And he's like, no, he has a demon inside him. And she's like, no, that's just how he is. And she's like, no, the autistic brain, like the demons can't figure it out, so they struggle. So it hasn't taken him over, but it's still in there. That's the why he is the way he is. I'm like, did you just pull autism as a superpower?
Yeah.
In this classic horror movie?
Yeah.
And once that happened, I'm like, I'm not on board with this at all. And like, there's a scene, and they do it all for this scene where, okay, so he's like very like impaired autistic, like doesn't speak in full sentences. And then there's a scene where it's like, oh, the demon has taken over, and he comes in and he's alone with his grandma who's at this house, and he comes in and he like calmly in a full sentence is like, Grandma, I need a snack. Can you help me? And it's supposed to be like, oh shit. the demon's here. And then they never cut back to him again. He's just eliminated from the end of the movie, and the end of the movie happens in a completely different location. They did all this autism stuff to set up this moment that never pays off.
And that's like relatively interesting.
Yeah, and I also just think it's classless to be like autism is a superpower.
Yeah.
And weird. Yeah. And I'm shocked that that's in a movie that got a 98%. And overall, I just didn't find it to be...
Yeah, you would think that would be like a problem, right?
Yeah. And it's just not a movie that I found to be like that exceptional. The only thing that's exceptional in it is really like mean and demented. It kind of reminds me of Drag Me to Hell, except with no humor. None of the Sam Raimi humor. Like literally what happens in the like cold open is a child that is the demon... literally they do like the Drag Me to Hell, like he disappears under the like Drag to Hell disappears like hand grasping at the air as he gets dragged underground.
And what's this called again?
When Evil Lurks.
Evil Lurks.
So it's just, I think it's not a horrible movie. I was just overall disappointed, especially considering how high the Rotten Tomatoes was and how some of the writing is just like, what?
Yeah.
We're doing this now?
It sounds interesting. The way you explained it, sounds
I promise
probably
you,
more interesting than it is.
I mean, interesting swings are taken. I don't think it is particularly good.
I think I want to talk about The Flash a little bit.
I put that in my mid list, which is like movies I thought got overhated on.
No, man. This movie sucked. I hated pretty much everything about it. One thing that really pissed me off in the beginning, they make Batman smile again. Stop doing that. Stop making Batman smile. He looks like a fucking goober. You know what I'm saying? Like, he smiled when Wonder Woman showed up. Like how he smiled in the original Justice League when Superman showed up. It's just the goofiest looking shit. And I'm just like, off the bat, you guys are just like, you don't care about these characters. Ezra Miller is just awful. I don't understand why he's been given so many chances. I think that's the thing that pisses me off probably the most. Where it's like they're so quick to Jonathan Majors. He's out of there. Fuck him. Get him out. Well, he's done.
Marvel didn't cut him till recently.
That's true.
They didn't. They've been kind of just kicking the can down the road because he was in that season of Loki. They didn't reset it.
But also,
Jonathan Majors definitely got more in the public eye. Like he's gotten worse in the public eye, I think. Than
it's like, how many times does Ezra Miller have to like choke a bitch out to have something happen to him? I don't know. I just think he's an asshole. I don't think he's that talented to begin with. I don't get it. He's terrible as a Flash.
I mean, I think the reason is they thought this was gonna be like their big. This was gonna be their Spider-Man
No Way Home.
Yeah, this was gonna be their No Way Home. This was gonna be their like union of the big celebration of this era of DC or whatever, you know, because they bring back Zod from Man of Steel. It's a rehash of Man of Steel. They're doing like the Avengers Endgame where we like go back into the old movie, basically, except it's an alternate future.
But they're like totally rewriting all the Zack Snyder stuff.
And it's even pulling the Endgame. It's like Thor's whole thing in Endgame because we also have the scene, like the sad scene with the mom where they reconnect, the dead mom, and he gets a moment with them through the magic of time travel.
Yeah. I thought the duplicate
effect.
The duplicate effect or the duplicate character Flash.
Yeah.
He was annoying as shit. I hated him. I thought it was kind of cool to see Michael Keaton back as Batman, but then it's like, why? What are we doing with this? Like, who cares? Hey, he's an elderly man that's jumping out of fucking planes and shit. I don't know. It rode that line of like, I can't believe this. Like, this is just. And then there's just all these little nitpicks for me. The General Zod's character, I don't think they could get Michael Shannon back to play him. So they AI'd his voice. This is all alleged to me, but they AI'd his voice and they CGI'd it, deepfaked his face because he never takes off his like helmet.
None of them do. Although I'm pretty sure he was there. He did reprise his role somehow. Whether it was just him like saying lines into like a, one of those like CG like 360 degree cameras, so they could put him on the effect later.
Right. I don't know. It was very bizarre. And the movie was ugly. The CGI was hot garbage.
It was really ugly.
They had the scene with Nick Cage as Superman. I'm like, y'all didn't want this movie to begin with, so why are we showing it? Because it's a meme. You know what I mean? It was so tasteless.
Yeah, that scene is just parading out every moment in the history of DC Comics that, you know, and film that they think could possibly stir a heartstring in someone. That part is really cynical and ugly. A lot of this movie is really just ugly in general. Yeah, you're right. The effects are bad. The only effect that I say they do a good job is the Ezra Miller doubling looks good 98% of the time.
Yeah.
There's a couple shots that look wonky, but
Or when he turns around, you could obviously tell it's like a guy in a wig, or like it's not.
yeah, but it like they do that the whole movie, and that's pretty good. But it's so bizarre. I find the end scene the most bizarre. Like I see a lot of people shitting on like the baby scene, and the baby scene's goofy as shit, and I kind of like it. Like it looks terrible, but it would be terrifying if it didn't look terrible.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
it was like it had to look cartoony because it's a bunch of babies falling out of a
falling out of a skyscraper. Like it needs to be over the top.
Yeah, and it felt very Saturday morning cartoonish. I was fine with that. Whatever, it's goofy. The Flash is a goofy character, anyways. So,
or even like the original parts where they go through the arena, where they have the arena, like the what is it called, the Time Force?
Yeah.
Like before they bring in all the colliding universes where they do all their member berries. I don't mind the way like it looks kind of ugly, but I think it makes sense for the like, you know, this is an otherworldly thing. Like to visualize him running back through time, like I think it makes sense the way they portray it. It's just the fucking when they bring back like the colliding universe orbs with all the with all the member berries, it's like fuck off.
Well, the George Clooney cameo at the end really made me roll my eyes because I'm like, oh my god, here we go. Like they're doing all this for what? For more shitty movies? It's so like again, it's just so tasteless. And I'm done with superhero stuff. Like I think the Flash really solidified it for me. I was just like, this stuff is just it's terrible, and I don't think there's any saving. I just hate how openly cynical it is.
Yeah, this one also, I think it was been delayed a couple of years, so like it was going to be ahead of the curve, and then it feels like aged.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if this had came out around or before the time of No Way Home, it would have been like we haven't seen this trick before quite this way.
Yeah.
Also, I was going to say about the end of this movie, it's in this desert and it looks like one of those prefab backgrounds that you would get like before you start adding in all the details of it's just like empty sand as far as you can see.
And then copy and paste army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre. It just feels really lazy, like it's occurring in a fucking snow globe somewhere and not like the real world.
Well, I was like, why didn't it occur in Metropolis? Because isn't that the ending of Superman?
Yeah.
The Man of Steel or whatever?
But they're like, we can't do that because everybody said they destroyed. There was like 12 9/11s in that Metropolis fight and seemed a little overboard. I have already have a rant about Air on this podcast, so I'm just going to say, fuck Air. I don't like it. Air is a terrible movie. It's really cynical and it sucks.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
I never watched it.
I hate that anyone ever liked it. And I hate you if you like it. Do you hear this?
Yes.
Okay.
But what's his name like shoes? Batman.
Matt Damon? Batfleck.
Yeah. He likes shoes. He's really drippy.
He does like shoes. He's yeah. Speaking of DC products, or people who used to make movies for DC, let's talk about Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon Part 1. Dog shit movie making. That's what's after the colon.
Yeah, literally. I almost feel like this movie warrants an entire episode. I know we talked about this before. There's a lot to talk about and a lot to rant about how shitty Zack Snyder movies are. I said in my Letterboxd review how this man gets work in Hollywood is beyond me. He just proves time and time again that he's not a competent director. Sure, there's a lot of style there, but there's no substance ever.
This one I didn't even find a moment where I was like, wow, that was cool.
I thought the shot of like the colonel or whatever, the general guy, he was like walking to his ship, and in the background there's explosions. I thought that looked kind of cool. I thought the first shot of the plane or the spaceships coming down and like going across the water, I thought that looked kind of nice. But then everything after that was just like, what the fuck is this? It's terrible.
Yeah, and Zack Snyder's already been like, there's like a 3-hour rated R director's cut, which after watching this movie, I'm like, does rated R just mean more rape? Because in this PG-13 movie,
yeah,
we have space Nazis. They're very much, I mean, they're not literally Nazis because this is not the land of Earth, but they are space Nazis.
For sure.
Like, even more blatantly than in Star Wars.
You can tell right off the bat, though, this movie was supposed to be a Star Wars film.
And so there's a scene where one of the young ladies at this is like dragged to the barn, and that's when our hero stands up.
It's like very aggressive too.
It's very aggressive. It goes on a long time, and it's like this movie does not have the tact to bring up the specter of rape. It hasn't earned this. You know?
No.
Like, you kind of need to earn it. If you're going to bring up that subject, you need to do something with it.
And there's no class about it, even though it's not a classy thing.
No, but it's just like, this is our shortcut to showing how bad of guys these are.
Yeah.
You know, you can go many routes with that.
Yeah, and how badass our female protagonist is.
But also, none of the action is cool. Every action scene is just, here's a cool trick. What if I spin while I do my shooting?
Right. And the overuse of slow motion is god-awful in this. Like, some of the worst I've ever seen, even for a Zack Snyder movie. It was very much coined in 300. And I still say to this day, 300 is probably his most competent film. I think that movie is pretty cool for what it is. But this takes like, oh my God, it's like every single movie you've ever seen in your life is in this one film.
Except shitty.
Yeah, and uninspired. And it's not even an homage. It's more of just a blatant ripoff. And I thought some of the designs for like the creatures were kind of interesting. I thought in the bar scene or in the cantina when there's like that alien that's like it's like a parasitic alien. It's like attached to that guy and it's like talking through him. I thought that was kind of clever and interesting. And how it scurried off.
That was a good idea.
Yeah.
He had a couple of those. But that's also in a scene where just before that, because we haven't had enough sexual assault, a man, instead of like they're doing the Star Wars cantina scene, and instead of being like, we just don't want you around here, get out of here, a man comes up and grabs a guy, just grabs him by the groin and says, buddy, you want to have a good time, basically.
And then he's like, and then the girl character, she's like, get away from him, he doesn't want it, or whatever. And he's like, oh, mama, come on. Like, it's like, what the fuck is this?
It's like, what are you doing?
It's so bad. And then the montage of like getting the band together.
Yeah.
Is terrible. It's the most cliche characters ever made.
And it feels like we're not even ripping off like movies from far enough away where it's like, oh, homage. That spider lady, Rogue One. Have you seen Rogue One?
You're right.
What about the mercenary selling out our crew? Have you seen The Last Jedi?
Right. Or no, what cracked me up the most is let's go get the gladiator guy from Gladiator.
Hey,
absolutely hilarious.
Hey, Cyborg, want to put on some dreads?
And it was like the cliche, like Asian sword lady. It's so cliche. And then the guy that's shirtless the entire time. I don't know if he was supposed to be like a Native American. The whole like scene with him like trying to wrangle the griffin. It just reminded me of the movie Spirit with the horse.
It seemed worse than that. It was so corny.
And he never puts a shirt on.
It was like Avatared. Because that shit was like, you know, the Avatar scene where they're wrangling and he connects the little flying thing.
Yeah.
That's the good version of that scene. This one was just stupid. Also, the setup for that is stupid because he shows up and they're like, this guy's a slave. And he's like, yeah, I'm a slave. but if you can wrangle that thing over there,
You
you
go
can be free. But if you don't wrangle it, all y'all are slaves now. And I'm like, how the fuck does that work logistically? Because there's like 6 people here. Pretty sure
worry.
they can take your ass.
Don't worry, I got enough chains.
Zack Snyder was like, yeah, all right, so we got to oil up his abs. All right, now lock him to the table.
I think I was talking to you about this. I was like, is Zack Snyder really into like human anatomy in like a weird way? Is like a fetish for him? Like he obviously likes mythology.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Greek statues is always shirtless guys with small penises. He casts Henry Cavill in every movie he's ever made, and Henry Cavill looks like fucking Spartacus. So I'm like, I don't know. It's just weird to me. And it's kind of like a fetish thing. And yeah.
Again, his movies, they look like Tommy Hilfiger underwear ads.
Seriously.
They're like, yeah, it's just like sexy people, good. Ugly people, bad. Nazis like tentacle porn.
Right. I thought the robot was the best character in the movie, and then he never shows up again.
I know, he's only there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. What the hell? It was like, what was that? I thought, like, at least they would cut back to him and the other boy that was, like, not down to rape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But those, I guess they're saved for the second movie?
Yeah. Oh, the boy that didn't rape came along on our mission.
No,
I
he
believe.
didn't. No, he didn't.
Wasn't
He stayed back on the planet. And then you never see him again.
I thought he came. I thought he was in our crew.
No. Because then they meet up with Black Guy and his sister.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who played Cyborg in Justice League.
Yeah, Cyborg with dreads.
Yeah. And then they get a group of their mercenary friends
Yeah.
to join. And then it kills the black guy off. And then it's with some random white chick that was in their group and she didn't really have anything to do, but now she's part of the gang. I don't know. I thought that the captain guy was okay. Like the evil general dude.
I was gonna say the villain. It's a good performance. What he's given to work with isn't like ain't no prime cinema.
He ain't no General Huck, not Hux, whatever the.
Yeah, he's no Hux. He's let's just say Martin Scorsese wouldn't call this cinema for real.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's bad. And also, Zack Snyder is still obsessed with whatever lens he used on Army of the Dead, where it's like the hyper focus, where the focus can like switch between
and that
characters.
one scene from Justice League with the Joker.
Yes, and it's like fuzzy edges and hard focus on like one character at a time. And it's so ugly and distracting. And sometimes it just opens as a wide that's just out of focus, I swear. And it's just a wide shot where I'm looking at it and I'm like, dude, did my eyes stop functioning properly? Like, what's happening?
Well, it's like, I feel like because they used it in certain spots when people were walking through like a town.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like vegetation and stuff in the background. But it's all blurred out. And I'm like, did they just not want to finish the graphics for that? And so they put this fucking filter on it? Like this distortion filter, it is so bizarre.
No, I think he's just obsessed with that filter because he did it all over Army of the Dead too.
It's terrible and it's incredibly distracting. I don't know, man. You were talking about this before. I think this is the movie that I hated the most this year. This movie really like pissed me off.
I just have like no redeeming qualities for it.
No,
I got like no entertainment value out of it.
it's one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time.
It doesn't have fun.
No.
It doesn't have stakes. It doesn't have anybody you care about.
And it's number one, it's the plot of The Bug's Life. And then it's like, how much shit can we throw at the wall and what will stick?
Mm-hmm.
So let's take all these different properties. Let's throw in some Star Wars, some Lord of the Rings, some Harry Potter. Let's throw everything that everybody knows, screen it.
Instead, read to like page 30 where it's like barn rape, and they're like, no.
We can't do that in
We
Star
can't do that.
Wars.
We don't do that at Disney Plus. You know?
God. Yeah, that movie was a disaster. And I'm going to watch the second one for sure.
I'm going to put myself through it. We may make an episode about that in April.
Well, that was my last terrible movie.
I think
Yep.
me too.
I think that it's probably a good one to end on.
Yeah.
It was kind of a culmination of all the shit that we watched this year.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely live in a society, folks.
There's
And
a society. You know what I noticed watching movies is this was a big year for pathetic men. Pathetic dudes ruled the cinemas. Dream Scenarios about a pathetic man. Beau's Afraid. Pathetic man.
Jonathan Majors,
Pathetic man.
Ezra Miller.
Pathetic. Non-binary.
Yes.
Do you think Michael Keaton was in this movie and was like, fuck? You know, like, he's like, I did Birdman, which was supposed to be like my swan song to my superhero persona, and then I show up as like the McDonald's version of myself, or for this
The
movie,
Happy Meal version.
for this movie that everyone gave 2 stars. And
I'm sure he doesn't care because he got a fucking check.
yeah, he probably got. Hope he was paid handsomely.
I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was paid before anybody. They definitely didn't pay the VFX artists. That's for sure.
That's the most bizarre thing about that movie is it was like a $300 million movie, and it's how did it end up so ugly?
I don't understand how you fuck up, like, Star Wars and superheroes, the easiest things. How do you fuck up? Because this material is literally written for you. You have thousands of comic books. How are you fucking up? I don't get it. But maybe it's harder. It's hard to make a movie. I don't know.
Maybe it's hard to make a movie. Kalen, 2023. But those are the bad movies. We talked about the good movies before that, and those are still good.
Yeah, I think they definitely overshadow the bad.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad a lot of these cynical franchises are crashing and burning. And
yes.
I think we're going to get some more unique and maybe just some new adventures in the like big budget realm, or even maybe a return to the mid-budget movie in the future.
What's on the schedule for 2024? Do we know? I know the next Rebel Moon is coming out.
Yeah, my most anticipated movie of 2024 is Rebel Moon Part 2. Hold on. I'm trying to, on Letterboxd, you can pull up by release date. Oh, Dune?
Oh, yes.
Deadpool 3?
Oh, that's the one with Hugh Jackman.
Robert Eggers' Nosferatu?
There's a new Gladiator movie coming out called Gladiator 2.
Joker, Folie à Deux?
That's going to be a musical with Lady Gaga.
There's going to be the Furiosa Mad Max
Oh, yes.
spin-off.
Civil War.
Drive-Away Dolls, an Ethan Coen movie. So
There's
one half of the Coen brothers.
There's an Adam Sandler movie called Spaceman coming out.
Apparently Beetlejuice 2.
Who asked for that?
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Speaking of Michael Keaton returning to probably do a shitty sequel.
The trailers look terrible for this. It's a Fall Guy. The Ryan Gosling plays a stunt performer that turns into... It's by the guy who did Bullet Train, which is a movie that also didn't get great reviews, but I enjoyed. So I have a little bit of hope for it, but I also think he might have just made one decent movie.
Also, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, my most anticipated movie, Craven the Hunter. Or maybe it's Madam Web.
Oh, God. Have you seen the trailer for that?
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Wait, what about Mean Girls 2?
Oh, no.
Venom 3? A Quiet Place, Day 1.
That's like 5 Quiet Place movies. John Krasinski.
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I'm looking at these movies and I'm seeing some duds coming.
For sure.
Some of these are going to make no money.
For sure. Inside Out 2.
Despicable Me 4. Sonic 3.
The American Society for Magical Negroes.
Borderlands directed by Eli Roth. Is this real?
Yeah, I don't know if it's really going to come out in 24. I know it's in production. I believe.
Or maybe our most anticipated movie, which comes out in a week or two, Night Swim, the haunted the haunted pool movie.
Solution: don't go in the pool.
We gotta swim.
Got to do my night swim. Got to get my laps in.
Yeah. So
Endless trash.
endless trash. Bad Boys 4. I don't know how many of these are real.
That sounds like your fake like AI photo.
Winnie the Pooh
Facebook
2. Blood and Honey.
Oh yeah, did you hear Mickey Mouse is in public domain now? So there's gonna be a swath of Mickey Mouse horror films.
I'm into it.
Damsel starring Millie Bobby Vanilli.
Twisters, the sequel to Twister.
There's a new Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah. If by John Krasinski.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, it seems like we're in for a wild ride 2024 if we make it past the next few months. I hear there's a solar storm brewing, so get ready to get your power knocked out and your internet too. Going back to the Stone Age, folks. No more movies.
Good thing I'm not the protagonist, so the airplane won't crash directly into my apartment.
You're going to have to make your kids dance to get your entertainment.
Is that some sort of euphemism?
I don't know. I'm just grasping at straws at this point.
All right, time to wrap it up.
Hope everybody has a happy new year. Be safe out there. Get your resolutions in, you know.
Hey,
do something.
This episode probably came out around like January 17th. Hey, are you still on your resolution? Did you already fall off the train? You lazy SOB, get back on it. Whatever you tried to change, you can still change it.
Make a resolution to watch more movies this year.
Better yourself.
Yeah.
Make a resolution to watch Sonic 3.
Watch Rebel Moon Part 2. It's the greatest thing ever. Zack Snyder is a visionary genius.
From visionary director Zack Snyder. Sweaty Abs.
Creator of 300 and Sucker Punch and that terrible Watchmen movie.
All right.